Hello, welcome to Wealth Phenomenon, where we say it, sow it, and reap it for financial release for kingdom advancement. I am so excited that you have returned to join me again this week and that we are all excited about what God is doing. On last week, we talked about how God created an entrepreneur overnight, how the Lord supernaturally canceled debt from her by giving the widow a strategic plan to bring her up out of debt, and that God has given all of you strategic plans. I want to remind you about the prophetic word, how the Lord said, write all your debts out and then write across it, paid in full, and release that unto me because the miraculous is happening. From that prophetic word and from reading just about the widow, I decided to continue to read on in 2 Kings. And we find miracle after miracle that the prophet performed, miracle after miracle, how God changed people's lives. Why? Because they believed. We are speaking about the miraculous. And in one of Chuck's book, I believe it is Worship Warriors, Chuck Pierce's book, Worship Warriors, he said to his praise leader, John Dixon, he said, John, why aren't you singing about miracles? And John said, I haven't seen any. And Chuck said to John, you won't until you start singing about it. And that's what we do on Wealth Phenomenon. We continue to say it. Say what? That God is moving powerfully, that we are rich in every way, so that on every occasion we're generous. And as a result of our generosity, many will give praise and thanksgiving to God. So let's go on this journey in 2 Kings. We find from the beginning in 2 Kings 4, we find that we have the widow. God created an entrepreneur in a day. Then it goes on to talk about the Shunammite's son restored to life. God promised her a son through the prophet. She brought forth the son. Then the promise died. I want to say to you, to some of you that may be discouraged, God has given you a promise, but you have not seen, or that promise was moving and it became alive and then it appeared dead. Don't give up. You have to continue to speak forth that promise and allow God to do what he needs to do. I recently had something miraculously happen in my life. I'm not quite ready to share it yet until this baby is totally birthed. But it started 18 years ago, and now I'm beginning to see a manifestation of it. So stay tuned because I'll be able to share my testimony and tell you how a promise that I thought was dead, like the Shunammite's son, but God raised it and brought it forth. I am too excited. So let's go on. And also, we find in chapter 4 that there was death in the pot. Elijah was with his prophets. It was the sons of the prophet, and they brought forth the pot. They were getting ready to eat, making a stew, and someone pulled something and put poison in it. The prophet took the poison out by adding flour. That was a miracle. Then we find that he fed 100 people. They had 20 loaves of barley, and they took that, and he was able to feed 100 other prophets. And we know of that story in the New Testament. Then we go on to chapter 5. Naaman, who had leprosy, and the servant spoke to him and said, there is a prophet, if you would go see him. He went, the prophet gave him instructions. He did not want to do it. You know, sometimes God would tell us to do some things that's so strange. I want to encourage you to get out of your head and just believe the word of the Lord and do what he says do. And Naaman obeyed. He dipped several times and he was healed. Then we have in chapter 6, we have another miracle about an axe head. The prophet said, Elijah, the axe that I had, the axe head came off and it fell into the water. It was borrowed. Okay, here we're talking about that debt again. We're beginning to see what happens. So Elijah just told him what to do. He says, okay, just here in chapter 6, he said, the man of God asked, where did it fall? And when he showed him the place, Elijah cut a stick, threw it in there, and made the axe float. Lift it out, he said, then reach out and take it. Now, how does a heavy axe head float? It was a miracle. And apparently that axe, the entire axe, apparently it had been used many times, because usually when an axe is on the stick, or if we want to call it that, usually it's on there very tight. Why? Because you have to chop the wood, chop so many things, and therefore it has to be secure. But in this case, it had whittled down. If you are feeling like you are whittled down, if the trials and the circumstances of life, or even if the debt in your life, and it has you feeling like you are whittled down and you have no more strength, I decree over you, and I say to you, I'm sending forth the word, and that which that cannot be resurrected, it is coming to the surface. You shall see the manifestation of the promise in your lifetime. I just want to share with you another prophetic word that came forth out of Gloria Zion. And the prophetic word is this. This is the time the grave clothes are coming off my people. Okay, think about the Shumanite son that was raised to life, where the enemy thought he could kill your dream, where the enemy thought he could kill your finances, where the enemy thought he could put out the future and the destiny that the Lord God has for you. The wind of my spirit is blowing, and the fire that used to burn so brightly, the wind is blowing upon that fire. Once again, the grave clothes are coming off. The resurrection power is coming to my people. I am about to resurrect dreams. I'm about to resurrect finances. I'm about to resurrect destiny. As the wind, my spirit, blows upon you, those grave clothes cannot hold you back. The future that I have for you. You are stepping into a new place, a new season, and I'm bringing life to all that the enemy tried to kill. This is resurrection power. Let the wind of God blow upon you. Grave clothes lose their power. Resurrection life is bringing forth new life. This is what we find in 2 Kings 4, 5, and 6. Why? Because God now is performing miracle after miracle after miracle. Receive the word of the Lord. Be encouraged this day, and stay tuned, because I have a powerful testimony to share with you in my life. After 18 years, I never thought it was an example of an axe head. Who can believe a heavy axe made of stone or made of iron would float? But God miraculously brought it to the surface. God miraculously healed the Shumanite's son. God miraculously canceled debt in a day. God miraculously took a widow and made her an entrepreneur in a day. God is miraculously moving. After 18 years, I am now seeing the fulfillment of a promise in my life. So be encouraged today that God is moving. And I want you to shout, miracles, miracles, miracles. God is moving. Miracles, miracles, miracles. And I bless you with this word. I bless you with the prophetic word. And I decree over you, your eyes see the miracles all around you. Your eyes see the manifestation of the power of God in your business, in your finances, in your life. Your eyes see, and you will receive what God has for you. Wow. Please be sure to share your testimonies with us. Like, share, and comment. We would love to hear from you. And remember, miracles, miracles, miracles is surrounding you, and your eyes see it.